I wanna be a star today. 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 I wanna be a star today.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Sandy. Alright, before we go into this vlog, I wanted to really quickly remind you guys to definitely make sure you guys check out my contest video for my 2,000 subscriber contest. I'm so excited about it. The video is up on my YouTube channel, but if you guys haven't checked it out yet, make sure to check it out right here, okay? And definitely make sure to check it out. Thank you so much for the entries that you guys have sent in so far, the comments, as well as the video responses. I will respond to the comments after the contest is over. I'm just letting the comments kind of just flow on the video itself so that it's nice and crisp and clean, so that it's easier for me to get the winner selected. So I'm not commenting on the comments on the video for the contest just yet, so I'll wait till after the contest deadline, and then I'll do that. With your video responses, make sure your video response is a video response to the contest video, number one. Number two, remember, this video response, or this contest, the video portion, is about copying the fashion look, somebody's look, okay, their clothing, shoes, everything, the hair, everything, on a celebrity or person. You can get it from a magazine, or you can Google an image or whatever, but you have to make sure you include the image within your video showing the exact look that you're copying, and then go into whatever it is that you did to copy the look, okay? And you'll want to make sure to also in detail tell us where you got everything from, the shoes, the pants, the belt, the accessories, and definitely if you want to include the makeup, include that too, but have as much fun as possible. Make it fun, be creative, and make sure you guys are following the rules. I'm giving you guys some really helpful hints here because I'm telling you, I want to make sure that everybody gets a fair shot, and I want to make sure that everybody has a shot to win. And if people are forgetting to follow the rules, they're going to get disqualified, and I don't want that to happen. So anyway, again, make sure for your video responses, make sure it's a video response to the contest video. Okay, again, that's here. Okay, so click on that, check it out. Make sure you guys are make sure it's no longer than 7 minutes, okay, and make sure you guys put the image, the photo of the person's, the whole look that you're trying to copy, and then go into whatever you did to copy the look, along with where you got everything from. Again, these are very helpful hints, so please make sure you guys do that, all right? Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Sandy, and I'm actually here at my parents' house, which explains the difference in the background. And I was actually out just running errands, enjoying the day. It was beautiful outside. It was like 80 degrees in St. Louis, which was dope. So running some errands, and I was coming over here to meet up with them just to hang out, and they're not here yet. And I happen to have my camera on me, and I thought that I would do a real quick vlog for you guys. It's basically based on a topic that I have lately been talking to my friends about lately in the last few weeks. And it's actually been on my mind because I've had a couple of girlfriends talk to me about similar situations that are really, really similar. And anyway, I know you guys look at the title. It's 182.5, and you're probably wondering what the hell that is. You're going to probably laugh at what it is when I finally do explain what it is. So anyway, you'll know that here in a second. But anyway, it's basically a philosophy that I had to incorporate in my life because I was dealing with similar situations to what my girlfriends were talking to me about. And I think we all deal with that type of stuff, and I just wanted to kind of see what your viewpoint and opinions were about this particular thing. Comment down below, let me know how you guys deal with this type of scenario, or if you have something that's real similar to the philosophy I'm going to explain to you guys, or whatever the case. Let me know your comments, let me know if you guys deal with this type of scenario, situation, whatever. Okay, so here goes. So, I don't know about y'all, but I know in my past or within my life, I've dealt with people that are always living in negative town. And when I say that, I mean people that all they do is complain and bitch about just whatever the case. Situations that are in their lives that they're not happy with, they're not pleased with, people they're not happy with, not pleased with, whatever the case. But they're consistently and constantly complaining or upset or whatever the case whenever you talk to them. And now, I have dealt with a lot of people who have a tendency to harp on the same thing over and over and over and over again to the point where every conversation we're talking about that same topic, that same problem that they have. And there comes a point in time, you can ask me for advice, and that's the thing. I'm a ride or die friend. I got your back all day, every day. And if you ask me for my advice, like I've said before, I am going to give you the real deal. And I usually will ask them, you want to hear the real deal? Because I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to let you know my advice. You don't have to listen to me because I'm not telling you what to do because this is your scenario. I can't do anything for you, but I can be a friend for you, be a shoulder to cry on, give you advice or whatever the case. You choose what you want to do. But I'm going to be real deal Holyfield with you when I tell you what my advice is, okay? And of course, you know, they say, no problem, I want to hear it. Let me know what's good. So I let them know what's good. Cool. And continuously over the next month or time or whatever, they're still talking about that same daggone issue. And we're still talking about it. And I'm like, okay, that's great and everything, and I love you and I have love for you, but damn, how long are we going to talk about this? I mean, like, we've been talking about this for months now. It's the same scenario. You're dealing with the same problem, okay? So my deal is this. There comes a point in time where if I'm truly being a friend to you, that I have to hold you accountable for what's going on. Because personally, I can't do anything for whatever your problem is, whatever the situation, whatever the deal is. I can only be there for you as a friend. I can be a shoulder to cry on. I'll be your support system. I'll raise you up when you need me to. That's what I'm here for. But there has to be a point in time where you have to be held accountable for the outcome of whatever the issue is. So, for example, if you're in a situation, if you've got a friend in your life that is just a terrible friend and you can't stand him and you've been talking about this for 6, 7, 8 months, we've been talking about it for the last year, and you still friends with this person, that's a problem. Because in my mind, I'm going, you still talking about this. Okay, so in my mind, me being the friend that I'm supposed to be, I'm going to call you out and I'm going to say, look, here's the deal. What are you doing to change the scenario? What are you doing to change the situation? Have you talked to your girl or your guy and told him what the problem is and what you have gripes with? Like, have you fixed the scenario? Are you making changes? Are you taking the steps to make a change to whatever you're complaining about? Because right now we've gone way beyond talking about it and talking about it and talking about it. We can talk about it to death, but it's not going to change the scenario, okay? Now, that's what one of my girlfriends called me about. She told me she had a friend who was constantly talking about a problem that she was having, and she was just tired of hearing about it. And she would give her advice and be there for her and yada yada, but the girl would just continue to complain about it, and it was like she was doing nothing to change that particular problem, scenario, situation, right? So I enlightened her on my philosophy. This is what I did. I basically let her know what the deal is, and this is where the 182.5 comes in, all right? And y'all gonna laugh at this. All right, but I had to implement something or put something into my life that would help me to deal with these scenarios. Because the one thing is, I'm not a negative person at all. You know, my thing is this: if I'm normal like everybody else, if I have problems and situations and things that I deal with on a day-to-day, but there comes a point in time where if I'm upset about something or not happy with the situation, it's my responsibility to change it and to make the necessary steps to change whatever the problem is. So if, you know, I don't know, if I go to McDonald's and I order an Egg McMuffin sandwich and I want strawberry jelly and they don't have it, and I go again to that same McDonald's and they don't have strawberry jelly, and I go to that same McDonald's again and they still ain't got no dang strawberry jelly, that means I need to switch McDonald's. I need to go someplace else. I need to find another McDonald's that might have my strawberry jelly, or I need to go get some strawberry jelly, keep it in my car, and eat it with my Egg McMuffin. But I got to do something to change the scenario. Now, here's the deal. Let me say this before I even go into the 182.5. This philosophy does not, I don't want it to seem like this applies to every scenario. So if you're in a particular situation where, you know, you are actually dealing with a problem that is just a lot harder to deal with, you know, whatever the case, those aren't really not included. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, there are situations and scenarios in people's lives that are a lot more difficult. So this is not necessarily applicable to this philosophy. This is simply for the scenarios that you know that this person can make changes to make things better. Okay? And so anyway, let me go into the 182.5. All right? So here's my deal. I determined that I had to set a limit for these particular scenarios. So, because after a while, when the person continues to harp on negative things and they continue to harp on the things that are going wrong in their life, one, I truly believe that when you put negative out, you're going to get negative back. That's number one. Number two, you talking about it isn't going to do jack to change that scenario if you're not making the necessary steps to change that situation or to change the outcome. So here's what I did. I implemented what I call my 182.5 rule, okay? And that basically entails, if you have a scenario and you're my friend and you want to talk to me, my family member, whatever the case, and you have a situation that you're just dealing with, I'm going to be there for you all day, every day. I'm going to make sure that I'm a shoulder to cry on. I'm a support system for you. If you want my advice, I'll gladly give it to you. You don't have to listen to me. I will keep my ears open and listen to it all. However, depending on the scenario, you got a maximum of 6 months, and that is 182.5 days, to talk to me about that scenario. And if at 182.5 you ain't done nothing to change it, we done talking about it. It's done. It's a wrap, kid. It's done, son. It's over. And I will let you know when you hit your expiration date. So in my book, if you call me and you're like, you know what, I went to McDonald's and they didn't have no grape jelly, and you tell me that 6 times and you went to the same McDonald's, all 6 times they didn't have your grape jelly, by 182.5, by that 6th month, or whatever the case, depending on the scenario, might be 4, depending on the situation, because it could be something a little lighter than that. Okay, let's just pretend that that was a deep scenario. All right, I'm going to let you know. Look, we've talked about this for 6 months now. What are you doing to change it? What steps have you taken to change this situation, to change the outcome, so that you can feel happy about whatever this problem is? So if you're sitting here complaining about, I ain't got no money, I ain't got no job, I ain't this, I ain't that. Okay, if I know you ain't got no job and you sitting here talking about how you don't have a job and you don't have any money, and I know you're not actively out there pursuing a job, we're going to have a problem. If in 6 months or 5 months or whatever the case, we're still talking about it. Because, look, I've given you as much advice as I can give you. I've been there as a friend. I've been a support system. You got my shoulders. You got my ears. You got my mouth, because I'm telling you everything up front. I'm letting you know, whatever the case, I'm being there as a support system for you. But guess what? There's going to have to be a point in time where that has to expire. This conversation is dead. Because if you've done nothing to make changes to this particular scenario, problem, whatever the case, I can't help you, boo. I can't help you. So it's either expired, or at this point you need to start making the changes to fix the scenario. Now, the reason why I had to implement this philosophy was because of the fact that I had people in my life that were so living in negative town that it started to affect me and the people around them, you know. And one, I'm not going to let my friend do that to themselves. I'm not going to put them in a scenario where everybody's talking about them behind their back, talking about something. This girl is just, I can't be around her. She's too much, or whatever the case. And I certainly don't want to pick up the burden of whatever negative is going on with you too, because reality is, in my book, in my opinion, negative brings about more negative. So I try to live as positive as I can, and believe me, I have my own gripes, my own problems, my own issues that I deal with on a day-to-day basis, but I try to keep that same 182.5 philosophy. I try to follow that myself. So when I notice that I'm starting to complain about something, and I've been complaining about it a little too long, believe me when I say a true friend's going to call you out on that too. So I've been in a scenario when I've put that out, and I let my friends know, look, you got 182.5 with me, kid. And I let them know, right? And I had one of my girlfriends, I was sitting there telling them about the situation, and I promise you, she was like, hey, you gave us 182.5, what about you? And I was like, ooh, you're right. It's time for me to change it. You are so right, you know. And I respected her for that, and I loved her for that, and that made me see that she was a true friend to me, because you're letting me know, look, we're still talking about this, okay? So what are you doing to make the change to that particular situation? So if you don't like a situation, or you have a problem, whatever, okay, it's time for us to start to work towards whatever the change is. It's time for you to implement some steps, to put some steps into action, so that we can get out of negative town. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I just wanted to see what y'all think. And this is real. I have told all my friends this. Every single one of my friends, whether they live in negative town or have lived in negative town or not. And I made it a point to do that, because I said, you know what, there was a point in time where I had so many people coming at me talking about so many different things, and they were harping on the same things over and over and over and over and over and over again, and wondering why the same negative outcome was coming out. And I'm like, duh, you're putting negative out there. Just like in my enemy video, okay, when you put out that negativity, you're going to get that back. And I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly. So it may be that you need to change your attitude about the scenario. It may mean that you need to look at yourself and see what the problem is with you. You know, but there has to be an expiration date on the situation, or there has to be a point in time where you say, look, girl, guy, whatever, it's time for you to either shift gears and stop talking about this, because obviously you're not trying to do anything to change it, so let's not talk about this anymore because it is expired. It's just done. We have talked this into the ground. Or they are going to have to start to make, like I said, the changes necessary to change the scenario. Now, if you've still talked to me about a problem and it's month 6 and you have been trying to make changes to fix it and it's still not working out, that's a totally different scenario. And, you know, in my mind, I'm like, you know what, I'm still here for you. I love you. I will always have love for you. And so if I know you're doing the things that you need to do to make that change, to fix it or whatever the case, absolutely. I got you, you know, because I know you're trying, okay? So I don't have a problem with that. But the problem that I have are the people that are sitting here talking about all this negative stuff that they're dealing with, and they're not doing anything to change it. So it's like they're sitting here just, yeah. Give me a break. It's done, son. It's time to try to either change it, change you, change it, change that person, move that person out, change it. Just switch it up. Switch gears. Because there's only so long you can harp on that negative for it to, I mean, it's not healthy. And you know what? It takes so much more time and energy, okay, to be negative than it does to just keep it moving and just keep it light and fluffy and just put positive out. I really believe that, you know. So anyway, I let my girlfriends know who I recently had these conversations with about this philosophy that I have. And they laughed their asses off, real talk. And it's funny, don't get me wrong. I mean, that's really, truly what I call it, 182.5, okay? But they got it, you know what I mean? They're like, you're right, you know, and you don't have to pick 182.5 days, okay? You don't even have to do that. That's just the amount of time that I gave myself. For you, it may be something totally different. You may say, well, you know what, this person's talking about some real light and fluffy, silly stuff. They need 30 days and I'm done, or they need 2 weeks or a day, or I don't have any more time. I'm tapped out. It's time for me to call them out. Go on and do it. Because you're not really being a friend to them anyway if you're just letting them sit there and talk about it anyway and not calling them to the carpet to say, look, girl or guy or whoever, make that change. Do what you got to do, kid. Because I know for me, I would want someone to say that to me, you know. And it's been said to me, you know what I mean? My girlfriend was like, look, you got to apply that to your life too, so what you going to do? And I was like, you know what? Okay. Next day, started making them changes. I had to work it out. So like I said, I'm just a regular person. I have the same types of situations and problems or whatever, like everybody else. But again, I don't know. I just wanted to see what you guys thought. It's a philosophy that has worked very well for me. I mean, I've literally done it for probably a little over a year. And like I said, I told everybody that's in my life that that's what's going on. And they laugh and they think it's funny as all get out. Okay, until they get to that point where I'm like, all right, boo. Remember that philosophy I told you, that 182.5? You've hit that. Let's go. Let's figure this out. What's good? What's the next step? What you doing? What you going to do? And, you know, of course, it's hard to hear that. But the reality is I'm not being a friend to you if I can't keep it real with you like that. And I don't want you living in a negative town. I don't want you to still be unhappy. I don't want you to still be in that negative place. So I'm just being a friend to you. You know what I'm saying? In the grand scheme of things, or at least that's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let me know your thoughts. I'm very curious to see if you guys have similar scenarios, situations. Again, this is not to negate anybody's problems or issues that they have on a day-to-day that are a little bit more, or that are a lot more serious. You know, this doesn't apply to every issue or problem or scenario. So I definitely don't want to negate anybody's current situations or past situations that they've dealt with that are a lot more difficult to deal with. I would never do that, okay? This is just for the more light and fluffy things that you may hear a friend talk about or deal with, a family member talk about or deal with, and it just gets to the point, like I said, it just wears on you. You know, you just carry it. And it got to the point for me where I was just carrying the burden of a lot of people, and I'm like, why am I doing this? Because they're just putting out that negative, and all you're doing is taking it in, and then it's not helping them either. You know what I mean? So anyway, Let me know your thoughts on all of that. I'm very curious to see what you guys think about that. Anyway, leave your comments down below. I'm hoping that helps with anyone who's dealing with that scenario. I'd love to hear what's going on with you guys, or if you guys have a philosophy that you guys stick with, or have a way that you deal with situations like that in your life with family and friends, associates, whatever the case. Anyway, that's it. I just wanted to express that to you guys and see what you guys thought. As always, follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/socialitesandy, and friend me on Facebook, facebook.com/thesocialitelife. As always, love y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.